Hello and welcome to Unnecessary Roughness, Barstool's college football show brought to you by the good people at High Noon Hard Seltzer. I got my friend Liam Blunt with me. Hi, Liam.
Hey, Brandon. Good to be
Fist bump,
here.
fist bump for the boys.
Fist
All
bump.
right. Now, I'm going to introduce everybody else as soon as I tell you this, and I haven't done this in a while, but I'm just going to take it upon myself to start by saying we're brought to you by High Noon Hard Seltzer. It is delicious. It is wonderful. And I have two friends who I know crave and enjoy a high noon, whether it's the peach tea, whether it's whatever it is. I know that Kayce Smith, Texas A&M fan, loves it. And I know that Big Ev, my Buckeye friend, loves it. Kayce, tell us all about that High Noon Hard Seltzer.
It's delicious. It's great. I wish I had more in the house at the moment. I wish I could send my friend Big Ev one through the laptop screen. I'm not going to sugarcoat this. It's great. It's the only thing that's great.
It is truly a delicious drink. And Big
High
Ev,
Noon spirits.
I know that you share that sentiment.
Yeah, High Noon's fantastic. We love High Noon here. God bless High Noon.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the end of rivalry week. I'm watching Texas celebrate in College Station, but a lot of games happened today. A lot of ball.
Brandon, absurd multitudes of ball went down today, all the way from America to Tokyo. It was excellent. I mean, we have a James Madison Marshall thriller still going on. Rivalry week delivered in ways unseen.
Unseen. That is a great way to put it, because shit happened today that nobody saw coming. In fact, Blutman, I'm going to go ahead and say the result from the Ohio State-Michigan game, to me, was the very most stunning result of the entire season. Now, I know there's been some stunning results, but had you told me at 9 a.m. this morning Michigan was going to go into Columbus and beat Ohio State, I would have called you a liar. I would have said, you're stupid. You're crazy. What are you, wrong? What are you, high? What are you, high on some sort of marijuana? No, can't happen. Well, this is where I bring in my friend Big Ev. Big Ev, I have never been more surprised at a result than that. There are certain times as a fan where you are happy, certain times when you are upset, and then there are times like this when I don't even know if I can describe what you are feeling. Would you like to try to describe
it? I've had some bad losses. I've been a sports fan 30 years. I've had some bad ones. Recent memory, I've lost World Series games on 3 errors in an inning. I've lost national titles essentially on last second field goals at the end of games. I've been favorites and lost. I've been underdogs and had the game and lost. That was the worst, most embarrassing loss I've ever been a part of as a fan. It feels like a fever dream. Like I don't know if I fully processed how real that it's real. Like it really that happened. You were 20-point favorites at home to your rival that was on an incredibly down year, who literally can't throw a forward pass and couldn't throw a forward pass in the game. And really, they couldn't move the ball at all. They did a little bit, I guess, on that last drive. That was the most. I've never been so embarrassed and ashamed. There's no way to really
Should Ryan Day be the coach of this team Monday?
No, fuck no. He will be, but he shouldn't be. I want to be very clear about something. I came into the season. I said it a few times on the show. He's given me no reason to support him, but I would still unconditionally. If they beat Michigan and they won the Big Ten, they now have done neither for the 4th year in a row. I know one thing's for sure. If Ryan Day is the coach of this team, they will never win anything. Ryan Day, as a man, is a loser. He's a fucking loser. I don't do politic games. I've made friends in the athletic department. I've made friends with players. I don't care. Ryan Day is a loser, and anyone who says otherwise, you're fooling yourself and everyone around you. He's a loser. He needs to be out yesterday. Get him the fuck out of town.
Kayce, we'll get to your game in a little bit, but
we don't have to.
Well, maybe we don't. But the truth is we do have to talk about this game right now because that is, again, I'll get more into it, but I'll give you a chance to talk. That's one of the more stunning things I've ever seen. And for a Michigan team who went through it this year, who doesn't have a quarterback, who can't really move the ball, to walk into Columbus and to beat number 2 Ohio State has to be the highest of highs. It was a stunning result.
No, I mean, you said it to start this, and I 1000% agree with you. Don't even have to think twice. It's by far the most stunning result of the season. Going into this season, we talked all about how Ohio State, got all the players they needed to. We knew what Michigan was going to look like. I don't think we knew exactly how bad Michigan was going to be, but losing Jim Harbaugh, losing J.J. McCarthy, losing Blake Corum, it was going to be obvious they were going to be down. And the fact that this team, and I mean, Will Howard, we can get to all that, that shit that he pulled today, but this Ohio State team is the most talented roster in the country. They have every position at the highest level in college football, and they couldn't beat a Michigan team who can't throw a forward pass. And Big Ev, I love you. I love you as a friend and as a colleague. I do not understand what happened today. And I know Ryan Day can't do it, but I don't want to feel like I'm like piling on Ev, but like it is mind blowing to me that Ryan Day has a job. Mind blowing.
I know what happened today. There comes a time in a football team's life where your toughness is going to get questioned and challenged. And we thought Ryan Day and this team had figured that out when they had that long drive against Penn State at the end and gutted that win out. But they showed up today and they thought they were coming to a coronation. They thought they were coming to Michigan's funeral, and Michigan came to fucking fight. Michigan came, they didn't care about passing the football. They didn't care about style points. They came to fucking fight. And Ohio State's defense did fight. Ohio State's defense stood up, and they did the things. Will Howard didn't fight. Whoever is calling the plays, whether it's Ryan Day or Chip Kelly, their bitch ass didn't fight because I don't know what the fuck they were doing. The receivers didn't fight. Nobody on offense fought. So when you get in the mud, when you get in a situation where the other team is in a rock fight and is comfortable and you are scared of rocks, you're going to have a fucking problem. And that's what Ohio State did today. And Blutman had the best tweet of the entire day. When Blutman said, and I'll let you elaborate on it. And you sent to somebody, I think Connor Griffin, you said it was 3-0. You said Michigan's going to win this game because of this reason. Tell them what the reason is.
Well, they're quite honestly, literally mentally unprepared and just weak every single big game. Ryan Day does not understand the importance of the rivalry. He just doesn't get it. He could say what he wants. Deep down, he doesn't get it. Once again, year after year, 4 straight years, they are soft, mentally weak, unprepared. The dancing gimmick they did in years past, the most fight they showed today was after the game because a flag got planted. Take care of business on the field. It was once again pathetic from them. Brandon, they ran the ball up the middle, 14 times?
Yeah.
Got 34 yards out of it. You pride yourself on toughness. You want to win these big games. Say you did get tougher. They didn't showcase that today. Michigan's big dogs, AM up. Jeremiah Smith had how many targets in the second half?
Don't know. Wow. So I'll tell you the story of the whole game. When Michigan had the ball going in, I believe it was 1st and goal with about 7 minutes left, and Davis Warren throws the worst pick in the history of football. He throws an absolute terrible pass, stupid pass, one of the worst throws you've ever seen. Wide open touchdown, he misses it. Ohio State gets the ball, gets it out to about the 10, and their play calling sequence, they go run up the middle for nothing. They go throw in the flat that's dropped for nothing, and then I believe the third one was a run too, or whatever it was, didn't work. They go 3 and out after the biggest momentum swing ever. They didn't have the nuts. They didn't have the cojones to get up off the mat when they were gifted something. They gave it right back to Michigan. What did Michigan do? We're not throwing it again. Our quarterback sucks. And they just handed it off to Khalil Mullings. Bang, 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 ball game. And I don't know how a coach as good as Ryan Day is, because I'm not going to sit here and say he's not a good coach. Look at hold on, Big F, hold on. I don't know how.
He's a bad coach.
Hold on.
He's a bad football coach.
He's not on the surface a bad football coach. He gets the players. He gets the program building. He gets all that. He puts everything in place. I don't know how a guy who is good enough to do all that, who can go to Penn State and win, who can kill Indiana, then shows up to Michigan with his tail between his legs like a little pussy bitch. I don't understand how that is ingrained in him and how he hasn't learned to get rid of it. That part I don't understand, Big O.
Because he's a loser. And I want to make something very clear about Ryan Day. Jim Harbaugh was right. He was born on third base, and now the team's on second base. Because you want to know how he's born on third base? This is year I believe 5 of Ryan Day as the head coach. I believe it's year 5. So this senior class, this is his class. These are all his guys. He recruited all of them.
Yeah.
0-4 against Michigan, 0-4 winning the Big Ten. Don't sit here and patronize me and tell me he's a good coach. He's a dog shit football coach.
He's also not a program builder. I mean, he's
a program fucking loser.
Like
that's what he is.
Program sustainer, not builder. You're right. You're not a builder.
I will say this, and like
he didn't sustain it. It went backwards. He did not sustain it. He didn't sustain it.
I honestly, like I've always said, like, if you hand a lot of coaches the roster that Urban Meyer did, like they're not always going to be able to sustain it to a certain degree. Michigan was really good the last few years. Michigan won the national title last year. After what Ryan Day did today, I don't give a flying fuck as like an unbiased person if they're in the playoff or not. Like he should be fired for what happened today. Like that is the best roster in college football to a team that, I mean, how many times do I have to say it? They don't have a quarterback. They can't throw a forward pass.
To lose that game with the roster that we had and the roster that they had, and they came in on the road and somehow won that game. He shouldn't have been let back in the locker room after the game. Not only is it that, it's how much of a pussy he looks like when this thing breaks out over the flag. It's how much of a pussy he looks like in the press conference. He just sits there like a little bitch. When the chips were all stacked in his favor, he couldn't even win. He had every edge imaginable in this game and couldn't win. He can't get a good. It's always kicking problems. I don't care. That's his fault. We're Ohio State. We can't have a kicker that can be consistent from 50 in and just consistent. Michigan always does. They went from Moody to this fucking guy. They always got a consistent kicker. No offensive line depth. All these teams got depth. I mean, last year at Michigan, what's his name? The lineman that went out. What's it? Keegan Blutman will know. Z, whatever his name is. Starts with a Z, Zach.
Zach Center.
Yeah, he goes down. One of their best linemen. They got guys to fill in. They can still bully people up front. No problem. They got the depth. Simmons goes down. McLaughlin goes down. We got bad snaps today. We can't get a yard to save our life. Chip Kelly called the worst game I've ever seen. The amount of times, the first drive of the game, we're throwing it all over the yard. We're throwing it everywhere. Boom, 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 bap, bap, down the field. We get to like the 10-yard line. We decide to go like run, doesn't work. Field goal. Then last drive before half. You had to throw it. You threw it right down the field for a touchdown. In between that, he goes, run. We don't get anything. Just keep running the ball, get nothing. Keep running the ball, get nothing. The strength of their team is their D tackles. They have 2 first-round D tackles. Why would we? And we have a center who just went down. Yeah. Why would we do that? Why would we just insist? It was like Ryan Day and Chip. They were like insistent on just trying to show like they're more physical, and they're just not. Correct. We had an advantage on the outside. Use it. We have 3 of thoroughbreds on the outside. Egbuka, Smith, Tate. Use them. They're thoroughbreds. Right. They're guys that they can't guard. Their best cornerbacks out. It's just inexcusable. Like Chip Kelly was so bad. So bad.
Here's my 2 things. Number 1 is I think they might have lost this game in the offseason when they went to the Mercedes dealership and they got Caleb Downs, and they went to the Lexus dealership and they got Quinshon Judkins, and they went behind the Dollar General and bought their quarterback. I still will never understand. I will never in a million years understand why you spend so much to upgrade your roster at so many positions, and then at quarterback you're like, well, he was okay at Kansas State. Let's take a chance.
He lost his job at Kansas State.
And then you get in this spot, and Cam Ward's down there in Miami throwing for 350 yards a game. You get in this spot, and you think Will Howard's going to do it, and Will Howard is going to make mistakes. Like Blutman says, he averages 2 goofs a game. Well, he had a goof. He threw a pick at the 10-yard line. Like he was not. He's not a national championship winning quarterback. I have no idea why they figured that. Now, my second thing. There's going to be a playoff in a couple of weeks, and they're going to be in it. And they are embarrassed. They are done. They are downtrodden. They are beaten. They have to be the most embarrassed team in Ohio State history. They're going to be in a playoff game in 2 weeks. They're probably going to be on the road. But Ryan Day has a chance to do the funniest thing ever. That's all I'll say.
I hate that you did that. Can I say a few things about
would it not be the funniest thing ever?
Go ahead, Blutman.
Okay. One, Ohio State has Will Howard because Ryan Day is attracted to quarterbacks that grow on trees like him. He's attracted, let's just be honest, he's attracted to the white, gritty, tough quarterback that throws pretty decent but could run for a few and will run into a defender and won't slide and will do it. That gritty, throwback, tough guy. It stinks that he's attracted to that because the scheme they've got going, his thoughts are nice. What him and Chip do are nice. The crossing concepts that they have in the passing game, with the talent that they have at receiver and the natural separation that those guys create, it's unstoppable. He doesn't want a true pocket passer to perfect that. Mind-boggling. Look what C.J. Stroud did. You had all on the silver platter, man. Now you go back. You went completely backwards to Will Howard. It's mind-boggling. And then the other
Blutman. Kyle McCord would have been an upgrade.
No comment because he's just not Day's kind of quarterback.
He would have been. Kyle McCord
He's
would
a
have
bad
won that
talent
football game.
evaluator.
Kyle McCord would have won that football game day, Big F.
He would have, Big F.
He is a bad talent
He would've.
evaluator, and you talk about recruiting, Brandon. As I said a month or two ago, I mean, put Tommy Walker as the head coach of Ohio State. He's getting any 5-star he wants. It ain't hard, and they don't develop. What did JTT do in his career aside from the one nuclear game against Penn State? You tell me one great thing he did. He had 0 sacks against Michigan in his entire career. Terrible job of developing. Whether it's on him or the staff, awful job. They deserve a lot of hate. They deserve a lot of hate coming from the right place, though, not the wrong place, because they got the wrong stuff going on, man. And it's sad to see a program like Ohio State crumble like that. You look at what Ohio State was against Michigan in the urban years, and you look now and you spot the differences. It's pathetic, and it's a slap in the face to every Ohio State diehard.
But yeah.
I mean, no, Urban's philosophy, you even read books or things he's done. His whole philosophy is you're going to have 5 stars and you're going to have 1 stars. The 5 stars, no matter what you do, they're going to be elite. The Jeremiah Smiths of the world, for example, they're just going to be who they are. They're special elite talents. It's about getting those 2, 3, and 4 stars and developing them into 4 or 5 stars. That's his philosophy in a nutshell on coaching football and just developing football players. He's right. Day has done none of that. And you see that, like I said, with this class. This senior class is the epitome of the Ryan Day era. It's 4 years, and they accomplished nothing. Absolutely nothing. And that's what when I see, and it's weird, and I'm sitting here and Brandon, you kind of mentioned it. I almost find myself having trouble. I'm being so critical, but I want to stand up for the defense just a little bit here. That they did fight their asses off, and they basically allowed Michigan to do literally nothing on offense. And this game is on the offense. It's on the offense and the special teams. That's what gave this game away. Someone like a Jack Sawyer, that kind of whole scene after the game with the flag, someone like him, I almost feel bad because I have to imagine for him it must feel like a fever dream. He's like, we just went out there and basically pitched a fucking shutout.
Yeah. And
we somehow, and he's like, he almost is like, how did we lose? How the fuck did we lose? And of course he's crashing out. How do you think this guy feels? And he's a kid from Columbus. He really grew up in this shit.
My only thing is the problem I had with the fight was I watched an Ohio State team kind of wilt under pressure. I did. And the defense isn't really
did for sure. Will Howard did for sure.
I saw a coaching staff, and I saw a team, at least half a team, wilt under pressure, and they laid down and let Michigan walk in there and just bully them. And then as soon as the game's over and Michigan does it, it's classless and it's shitty, and I understand that. And then they put the flag there, but to then all of a sudden be full of piss and vinegar and want to fight, you just got embarrassed for 60 minutes, man. And I know that I don't want to see anybody plant flag in my backyard either. But if I spent 60 minutes letting them whip my ass, I would take some pause and be like, is this the fight? I don't know. It rubbed me the wrong way. And
But
I
that's where like the defense, like Jack Sawyer, for example, like he fought his ass off all game.
Yeah.
Like he didn't get bullied. Like the defense didn't get bullied. I mean, they had a sequence. They forced 6 3-and-outs in a row.
Yeah.
6 3-and-outs in a row, and they never took the lead. Like this defense was just like, stuff them, give the ball back, stuff them, give the ball back, stuff them, give the ball back. And the offense just couldn't do a fucking thing. That's why I feel bad for a guy like him who played his ass off today. But the same thing with and like the flag thing is whatever. Like the flag thing in itself is whatever. Because I think there was no win there for them, because if they let them plant the flag, the narrative would be, oh, you guys are pussies, you rolled over and died just like you did on the field. And then if you fight, you're like, oh, where was that fight for 60 minutes? The defense fought their ass off for 60 minutes. They fought hard as hell. But this
my
team
thing with the fight is like the flag is like the whole. First of all, I don't think it's that classless. Like it's not like they're going in and like destroying the locker room or like vandalizing the stadium. Like it's
I mean, it is classless, but
I mean, but it's I guess it's innocent classless to me. Like there's no harm to it. And like Baker Mayfield goes viral for it, whatever. I mean, we saw it multiple times today. It's like it is a no-win situation, Ev. But I think like when you get your ass kicked by a team that you had no business getting your ass kicked, you're just going to look 10 times worse. And then the fact that there was Mace involved, which I'm not saying is Ohio State's fault by any stretch of the imagination, it just makes it look so much worse. And then your head coach goes up there and it's like, well, we're not going to let them do it. Don't let them fucking win then. Just don't let them fucking win if you don't want to have to deal with that. You are at home against a team that you were favored by 26 points at kickoff. Don't let them win and then cry about letting them plant a flag. That's what made it so much worse to me. Like, cry about that. Just don't let them win then.
All right, this might be shocking to some, but there are other games.
No, I don't think anything else happened today, Brandon. I don't.
Well, we have won the week, lost the week shit list, and I have a feeling this game's going to come up again multiple times.
That's fair.
Also, we have a worst tweet of the week winner coming up, so I'm excited about that. It's not you.
Really?
It's not you. In fact, it's not anybody on this show.
Oh, I know what it is, and I agree with you 1,000%.
You do not know what it is.
Yes, I do. Do you want me to text it to you?
Text me.
I'll
give you $100 on my Venmo tonight.
I guarantee you, I know what it is. I guarantee you, I know what it is.
I got to move on, woman. Okay.
You want to talk about pork rinds?
Yeah, talk about pork rinds, and then we'll move on.
You talk about pork rinds for a second.
Oh my goodness, Southern Recipe pork rinds. They got the spicy deal, the hot honey. They got the best flavors in the world, and you're talking about a crunchy, delicious snack. When you're sitting there, when you're laying down, you're watching 12 hours of football, as I just did. You need a snack every now and then. We're built different. We got to have sustenance. We got to get through these long days of laying on the couch. Pork rinds are the perfect snack, and they're not that. They're pretty good, pretty healthy. I mean, they're a good, delicious snack. Please take over from here. I've talked about pork rinds so much.
It's okay. They are pretty healthy. They have less than 1 gram of carbs in every single serving, and they have a ton of protein, which makes them a healthy snack, and they feel sinful. They're not. Porkrinds.com. I believe this is the last week that you can go vote for your crunch time hero. Porkrinds.com. We love them.
I love pork rinds so much. I snack on a few while I'm ice fishing.
Ooh. What a shot.
Well,
I'm going to be honest, Brandon. I know Ev's obviously down bad. I'm down bad. The fact that you're not down bad is incredible.
Why would I be? It's a new day. Listen. I'll just tell you right now. I had 2 goals this season because I knew early it was bad. Now, we knew it was bad. We lost Toledo. I'm just trying to get to the end of the season, right? So we get there. We're 2-10, whatever. Rock bottom. It's all up from here. Our coach died. I had 1 goal this season after that to make sure Ole Miss's overrated ass didn't get to the playoff. And I've achieved that. Okay. So as long as that happened, this could have been the worst season of all time, us being bad and them in the playoff. I'll just take us being bad. I don't like it, but new day. I'm about to start getting some players. I've already had buddy. I'm so far in the transfer portal game. It's not even funny. Oh, and not even transfer portal. I got a high school.
Whoa. From West Point?
And he hit no. Close by. Anyway, we have several games to talk about. We have Miami losing. They go to Syracuse. This was my upset alert the other day. They lose 42-38 to Syracuse. Big F. I know it's going to be tough, man. Just give me an hour talking about other teams. I've been there. Not exactly where you are, but I've been in bad spots. Anyway, Miami chose a field goal with 4 minutes to go, trailing by 7 to cut it to 42-38 inside the 10-yard line. This is exactly what PJ Fleck did last week. He lost. Miami then lost. They now fall out of I think the top 12, setting up this. So just listen to me, because this is what I think we have right now. We have the 4 from the Big Ten. We have Oregon, Penn State, Ohio State, Indiana. I think those are locks for the playoff, all 4 of them. We have Georgia. We have Texas. We have Tennessee. We have Notre Dame. I think those 4 are locks for the playoffs. Does everybody agree so far?
I'm not happy
I'm
about
at
it.
8.
Yes.
I'm at 8. We have the Big 12 champ, either Iowa State or Arizona State. We have the ACC champ, either SMU or Clemson. Did I say something wrong?
If BYU loses, Colorado goes to the Big 12 championship.
That's not correct, is it?
Yes, it is.
Okay, Arizona State or Colorado then.
Only if BYU loses, which they're playing right now. So that's
Arizona State or BYU then. Excuse me. I said it wrong. Arizona State or BYU, correct?
or Colorado if BYU loses. BYU is currently playing Houston.
Big 12 champ. Shut the fuck up.
I'm just
Big 12 champ. This punk ass conference that sucks is just ruining everything. Anyway, I got those 8. Big 12 champ, ACC champ, G5.
Mm-hmm.
I'm at 11. Okay, I think that's a pretty set in stone 11 too. I don't think there's much wiggle room there. That's 11. And then you're talking about SMU if they lose. Brett will be in this discussion. If they lose next week, Alabama, Miami, South Carolina, Ole Miss. I think those are your 5 that will be in discussions for one spot. I think Alabama will get that spot. Your thoughts, everybody?
I'll let Liam talk. He's obviously the least down bad of the options.
Blutman.
I think that this comes down to Alabama, South Carolina, and with the committee and how they've handled things in the past, for the most part, maybe the one thing that they've truly stayed consistent with is head-to-head. Alabama beat South Carolina head-to-head. It's as simple as that. I don't think SMU could get in with a loss. I just don't see it. The ACC is a one-bid league. I really think this is Alabama.
I think SMU might. I think if SMU lost to Clemson, Clemson stole that bid, because that's what they would be doing, stealing that bid. I think SMU, if they lost like 2017, I think they'd have an argument. They'd be a 2-loss team. Both these other ones are 3-loss teams. I think SMU might.
I don't think they're going to get the respect. I just
They're
don't.
They're also a 1-loss team that's only getting that second loss because they had to play extra.
Correct. I really don't think that they're going to get the respect. It's just personal belief.
They're number 9. Like, they've gotten respect.
Then they'll jump up to 7 or 8. And when it comes down to it, what's going to happen? Sankey's going to slide a few extra dollar bills. It's Alabama. Just this.
Okay. All right.
I think SMU would get in.
I do too.
Also, especially, I think BYU winning the Big 12 would really help their argument as well.
Yeah,
because they'd say our loss was to literally essentially their 2 losses would be to 2 playoff teams, and the second one would be like not even a loss with an asterisk because it's an extra game.
But BYU can't win. It's Iowa State plays ASU if BYU wins.
Ah, that's right. I forgot that BYU doesn't have like a path.
Arizona State is for sure in.
Right.
It's either BYU. I mean, it's either Iowa State or Colorado, depending on what happens with BYU versus Houston.
Fair. Okay.
And there's a half of football left. It's about to be halftime.
Yeah, sure. Last night we were treated to one of the all-time classic games, Georgia and Georgia Tech. Georgia wins 44-42. There are a multitude of things to talk about from that. I'll just say this, and this is. I was really taken aback by the post-game handshake between Brent Key and Kirby Smart. If you looked around the world today, you saw a bunch of flag fighting. You saw Mike Loxley and James Franklin. Mike Loxley was being a bitch. You saw a bunch of coaches being bitches. You saw a bunch of players being bitches. And Brent Key and Kirby Smart just like embraced for like 3 minutes. And you could tell Brent Key and Georgia Tech left every single bit of what they have out there. They had nothing to play for. Nothing except beating Georgia. I thought it was a fucking phenomenal game. Now, I know that Blutman's going to go off on second and on the overtime format. But Georgia was this close to hanging on by a thread, this close to having to win next week to make it. Big Ev, were you locked in on that game? We were all locked in on the game. Phenomenal fucking football game.
Yeah, it was definitely locked in. I was watching at a bar. All the boys jumped on Georgia money line. What a ride! Yeah, I mean that was crazy. I mean, I actually I tweeted because I had Georgia Tech like with the point, so I was sitting pretty. So I tweeted like, oh, like they like Georgia Tech just went into Athens and just kicked the shit out of Georgia, and then 5 minutes later they were tied going overtime. But no, I mean, no, that was a classic. I mean, it's just crazy the way Georgia was able to just bear down and just go right down the field twice when they needed to. Like it was the second to last drive. The way it was all right. They got there was 4.5 minutes left. They're gonna need to score, but they need some time left. They went down the field like a minute and a half, no problem. Touchdown. You're sitting there, they score with just under 3 minutes. You're like, holy shit, they're gonna get 3 out in here, and this is gonna be a game. There's still a team that weirdly enough, they looked so bad for most of that game. They were getting drilled. They were getting out. I mean, at one point they were getting outgained 300 to 100 yards. But their ability to just kind of turn it on, and Beck was able to turn it on when needed to. They're just a team that, as bad as they've looked at times in the playoff, you just know they're dangerous.
Yep. I have a statement about overtime. First of all, Blemon, you can go off on the format if you want to. I just think play calling in overtime needs to evolve or get smarter because coaches outsmart themselves when they get to the 3-yard line. There were 12 two-point conversion attempts in the overtimes. I believe 2 of them were runs, 2, including the one that won the fucking game. So I have no idea why Georgia Tech, who spent all night owning the line of scrimmage, and Haynes King spent all night dominating running through the middle, running around the edges, all of a sudden they wanted him to be Joe Montana precision passing at the goal line. These teams feel like teams know that you want to roll your quarterback out and give him options. That's why there's never any options, okay? You've got to get creative down there with the run game because that's what's actually open in these situations. I thought the play calling was bad. We can't ignore it. The officiating was fucking terrible in favor of Georgia.
It was horrible.
Terrible.
I mean, the thing about, and I hate the overtime too. I mean, I put him on my shit list last week. I think it's a horrible way to decide the game. It's just Georgia is so perplexing because we've seen that. And obviously what happened with Texas tonight, and I know we'll talk about that game, the rematch between Texas and Georgia in the SEC championship, I don't even know what to think because it depends on what Georgia team shows up. I mean, Haynes King is a good quarterback, but Haynes King has no business dicing up a Georgia defense the way that he did. Quinn Ewers couldn't do it. Arch Manning couldn't do it. If Georgia shows up the way that we've seen them play multiple times throughout the season in a good way, they look like they're unbeatable. Most of the game last time, I mean, they had no business being in 8 overtimes with Georgia Tech. No disrespect to Georgia Tech, but Georgia is supposed to be the elite team of the SEC this year. And that to me was the biggest thing. It's I hate the overtimes and the way it was decided. Georgia had no fucking business being that close against Georgia Tech.
Can I push back on a thought that isn't yours? It's you're saying something that is routinely thought throughout the country. This thought that when Georgia turns it on, they are among the best teams in the country. And yes, they went to Texas and they have a very impressive win at Texas. They've spent 85% of the year not turning it on. They spent 85% of the year being average as hell. Playing down to Kentucky, playing down to Mississippi State, playing down to Auburn, getting themselves in these situations where they're fighting from behind against Georgia Tech. They're just, I would say, out of 12 games, 9 full games were just average as hell.
Yeah, I mean, they went down 28-0 against Alabama. You're absolutely right. But I guess maybe the bigger thing is they are supposed to be, because we're going to see them. I mean, I think they're going to win the game next week, but I don't know. Texas is
maybe that's just who they are, and the game against Texas was the aberration. That's all I'm trying to say. Maybe
no. To me, and maybe it is because we went into the season and I have Georgia, Georgia winning the SEC, and they, you talk about a talented roster. We killed Ohio State earlier in this exact podcast where Georgia has a phenomenal roster, and now all the smoke that we blew up Carson Beck's ass for weeks and weeks and weeks. To me, I just don't understand it. And maybe it's a bigger picture of the SEC as a whole, which obviously we can talk about at a later time. But the SEC to me is just who the fuck is actually good? Who? Because they were this close. They were 1 overtime away from losing to Georgia Tech.
I think we got an answer tonight. that Texas defense was nasty, man.
I know.
Texas looked damn good tonight. Their offense still, of course, they were playing to kind of bleed the clock there in the second half, and Quinn Ewers made some mistakes that kept Texas A&M in the game. But Texas looked – this was the first time Texas, to me, has looked like a true national title contender. They go on the road against A&M. I got something to say about A&M in a minute that you're either going to like or not like.
I probably won't like it.
Well, but I think you should, even though you won't like it. I know you won't like it, but you should. But this was the best Texas we've seen as far as I'm concerned, Big F.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, you want to talk about getting bullied in the line of scrimmage. I mean, that was it. Texas's front was unreal. I also don't know if Mike Elko, whoever's calling plays in A&M, are they aware that in short yardage you don't have to just run it up the middle? Do they know that you're allowed to?
No, they don't.
That you're allowed to go maybe a little rollout, maybe a little waggle, maybe a little anything, just literally anything besides just a halfback dive up the middle. Literally anything else. It was stunning the way that every time they did it, they didn't get close. Not one single time did they pick up 1 yard when they needed to, and just kept going back to it. Third and goal at the 1, fourth and goal at the 1. The hand up the middle. I mean, the fourth down play, they blew it up so fast, he barely got the hands off.
Big F, they called a timeout to set that up.
First of all, I know we're going to talk about the shit list.
He barely got the ball out of his hands to hand it off.
The whole line blew it up.
It is. And I'm seeing our friend Jack Max talking about, oh, you're not a serious ball knower. If you, I'll save it for the shit list. What Colin Klein did tonight was horrific. And I understand, and Blutman, you've said this every time we talked about A&M, they don't have a true quarterback because we've seen the Connor Wigman show, then he got benched, and then Marcel Reed. Colin Klein has had all season to figure out this offense, and we lose Le'Veon Moss, and you still have the weapons, and I just don't understand it when Texas wasn't doing anything to let Marcel Reed get up. It makes me, I feel like Frank right now. I just eat my glasses. It was so fucking frustrating. And then the defense keeps them in it. Now the defense still can't tackle. I'd like to say that for the rest of the offseason, we need to learn how to fucking tackle because the yards after contact was so fucking horrific. How in the world was that the play call over and over and over, and it never worked? Like, what was he watching? What was he seeing that everyone in the fucking world wasn't seeing?
Blutman, I thought that was the best Texas. Would you agree?
Yeah. I really like. There's been a lot of talk about the Texas schedule. I think it's been blown out of proportion. I don't think they've had their foot fully on the throttle pretty much all season, aside from the Georgia game where they do lose. I think that's a really good football team. You and I called it out at the beginning of the season. Their biggest weakness, their biggest question mark, was the defensive front and the nose tackles and how they're going to be able to, replace Murphy and Sweat. They did that so well. Their front seven's absolutely disgusting. It's genuinely shocking. I get that it's the Colin Klein special, and you guys have talked about it, but how you think that you're going to go in there and bully Texas up front, up the middle, and key downs too, truly shocking, for lack of a better term. Well, I saw them come out on that set on that 4th and goal. I said it. I was like, oh, they're going to go play action here, throw them off, little boot to the flat. Nope, not at all. Just stifled up the middle. They got blown to smithereens there. I think Texas is really good, man. I think they got 2 of the better DBs in the country. Ryan Wingo played a big game for them at receiver. That kid's going to be something. Quintravian Wisner at running back, what a game he had. They were, let's be honest, Quinn Ewers, if A&M comes back to win that game,
it was on him.
A&M had a case to retire Quinn Ewers' number at Kyle Field because he gave them gifts to go and stay in that game.
Gifts. I mean, and even down, and again, I'll talk about it in the shit list, but even the fact that A&M had the ball back, when it should have been down by 1 score with 2 minutes because Quinn just he couldn't figure it out. But the interception or the pick six, obviously, and then the fumble. But I mean, Texas in the trenches. We said this last year, and obviously, they beat Alabama last year in week 2, and we said that the biggest thing that SEC or that Texas did going into the SEC and what Sark has done is beef up the offensive and the defensive line. And there were multiple times tonight where obviously A&M's defensive line was able to get to Quinn, but there was also a lot of times where they gave the running back enough time to break up the middle. Texas is fucking good. Texas is really good. Obviously, I'm very sad. 13 years, and that's what we rolled out. But at the same time, like, this is where Texas really showed what everybody's kind of waiting for them to show, that they are a legit team, not just a team that was winning on an easy schedule.
Here's my take about Texas A&M, then we'll move on. You're 8-4. You're disappointed because you lost. You had a chance to play for the SEC championship. I think the schedule early kind of put A&M ahead of its skis a little bit, put them in this spot where they were the last SEC team to take a loss when they had that huge marquee game against LSU. You finish 8-4, and I think this is exactly right where you should be. You are an 8-4 team, and it's right where you need to be under Mike Elko. This is year one. This is year one of establishing a new program and gutting the program from whatever the fuck Jimbo was, okay? And what did he do? He came in, established toughness, found his quarterback of the future, is building. Like, right now, yeah, you want to go to the playoff. You want to win the SEC, that's great. You're an 8-4 team, and you found your future. You found your future coach. Next year, you're going to be nasty. Like, this is exactly where A&M should be, and I don't think they should be sad for a second.
No, I do agree with you. I mean, year one, and it is incredible. And obviously, like, the culture around it, that's fine. I guess it's like, and you know this, Ev, you know this, and Liam, you know this too. It's like, if you take away the rivalry, and like, again, not to go down there, we have a lot of other stuff to talk about, but like, this game started in the 1800s. You take it away for 13 years. It doesn't matter if we had never won a single game this year. We are sad because of the way this was. To me, it wasn't even about going to Atlanta. Of course, getting to Atlanta would have been great, playing for an SEC championship. It was the fact that this game meant so much, and it wasn't even, I mean, the score was a lot closer than the game actually felt. And the mistakes that were made and some of the penalties, it was just like, A&M fucked themselves a lot. Texas was really good. That's why I'm sad. I fully agree. I'm not sad about being 8-4. I'm not sad about winning the SEC title in year one of Mike Elko. I'm sad because of tonight, because I waited 13 years to watch this. The last time I saw this game, I was in college. As a post-college adult, I've never watched us play Texas. That's why I'm sad.
If you're just joining in the chat, we are talking about A&M. We're talking about the Miami game, Georgia, the Iron Bowl. We're talking about all that. If we have time towards the end of the show, we will talk a little bit about Michigan and Ohio State if we have time to squeeze it in. So I know if you're here and you're wondering, are they going to talk about Ohio State, Michigan? I hope to have about 30 seconds at the end to maybe get to it. Are
there idiots in the chat thinking that we didn't talk about it?
Oh, yeah. We'll talk about Ohio State, Michigan. So, okay.
We spent like the first 25 minutes talking about it.
Yeah. Hold on, Blutman. Hold that thought. You get to go next after Kayce does some business.
Well, let me pull this up really quick because I'm sad. Oh, one of my favorites. Not that I pick favorite kids, but Ev, I know you feel worse than me. I'm going to say you feel worse than me. You're number 2 in the country, but losing to your rival, there's nothing you want to do but go to sleep as fast as possible. I wish I could have been asleep at halftime. I'm sure you wish that you were asleep at 3 p.m. today. I'd like to take a dirt nap, but I'm not going to take a dirt nap. I'm going to take a sleep in my Boll & Branch sheets. I love my Boll & Branch sheets. I love my robe. I love my pajamas. And they have a massive cyber event. Obviously, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, 25% off plus free shipping on your first set of sheets. Go to bollandbranch.com using the promo code RUFF. We talk about Boll & Branch all the time because it's the highest quality, literally the highest quality of cotton you can possibly get. It's incredibly comfortable. It keeps you warm. It keeps you cool. And Ev, I just want to I don't actually want to wake up, but I'm going to wake up tomorrow and I'm going to be comfortable at least in my Boll & Branch sheets.
Shut up, Boll & Branch.
I'm so sad. bollandbranch.com. Use promo code RUFF. Again, cyber event, 25% off. We love them. We love them.
They're the best. Blutman, what was your take there?
I just wanted to share that Mike Elko, yes, does have things going the right way. I think he just made a mistake, a massive mistake when he said we're not looking at the Texas. He messed that up, completely messed that up. I cannot wait to see A&M next season under Mike Elko in year 2 and Kayce root for A&M very hard to succeed. This year he's what it is. I'm in there with A&M all next season unless Colin Klein's still there and makes it.
See, I feel like you're pandering to me right now because I said before we started recording that I'm mad at you.
I'm being genuine. I'm a Mike Elko guy.
All right, we got to go around this country because there's other things. Listen, this is a fan base that's been at my neck for 3 weeks because they want something to be true that isn't true, but it can't be denied they are a good team. South Carolina 17, Clemson 14. Biggest win of the season for South Carolina. They go into Clemson, they win. I thought, I can't believe Clemson lost that game. Clemson went right down the field in the last minute. Had a minute 8 to go all the way down the field, went right down the field, then threw one of the worst passes you'll ever see, ends the game. But it was really a QB show. Klubnik was good. Lenore Sellers was better. They were both good going back and forth. Sellers is awesome on the ground as a quarterback. He got some work to do through the air, but I'm sure he'll get there. But Sellers is good. The defense is good. South Carolina is a good football team. The problem is South Carolina fans want to light me up and call my mother a whore and be all of my DMs saying, "Oh, you're an asshole. You hate on us." When all I'm saying is you're not going to the playoff. You're not a playoff team. You've lost 3 times. Reality is reality. You are a good team. If I ever said you weren't a good team, that's on me. That was a fuck up. You're a good team, but you are not a playoff team. You are behind Alabama and Ole Miss in the rankings here. They both beat you. Like, I would love to go back in time and have you guys beat LSU or Alabama or Ole Miss. I can't. You're 9-3. That's a good season, but you are not a playoff team. There. Sorry. If reality is that hard to accept, I apologize, but that is reality. It ain't me being an asshole.
No, they're not going to be in the playoff because of the head-to-head that you just mentioned with Alabama and Ole Miss. However, I do think, and listen, Clemson was gifted the ACC championship because Miami just absolutely shit the bed today, and that's fine. But, I do think that them beating Clemson today, which is a rivalry game, and obviously Clemson was ranked higher, that should propel them because the way they have played. And, obviously, I don't think Miami's going to be in it. But, the way that Miami played, having the 2 losses, and then South Carolina should be in over Miami. And, in fact,
neither one are getting in.
I know, and this is where I go back. The head-to-heads, I would put them in over Alabama. Which I know is tough because they played, and I get that, but they played. The way that they played at the end.
Fucking crazy.
Alabama lost to Vanderbilt and to Oklahoma.
South Carolina lost to Alabama.
I know, but I know.
South Carolina lost to LSU.
I don't think either one should be in, to be honest.
South Carolina lost 27-3 to Ole Miss, who ain't that good.
I don't think that either one should be in. This is where, and again, obviously,
Alabama has way better wins than Carolina.
Who does?
Alabama has way better wins than Carolina does.
Georgia, obviously.
Georgia, South Carolina.
I don't think LSU is not a good win.
I mean,
it's another team that they lost to, though. I
can't imagine where anybody would argue South Carolina. If they're not a South Carolina fan, how you would argue South Carolina deserves over Alabama, who beat them?
Because they just beat Clemson today, and Clemson's ranked higher, and Clemson's playing for an ACC title. And they do have good wins. Have they? How many? Listen.
Alabama beat Georgia.
Okay,
Clemson's only playing for ACC title because Miami's such a inept.
I agree. First of all, I don't think any 3-loss team should be in the playoff. I truly don't, and I understand
that's crazy too. You're crazy. It's everybody else is crazy.
They have to be, and I know they have to be, but I don't think that they should be.
That's it. Ain't. I'm not calling you stupid. That is stupid. When anybody says, "Oh, 3-loss teams shouldn't have a chance to play for a national title," if we're gonna have a 12-team playoff, 3-loss teams have been finishing in the top 12 for fucking ever. So if we didn't want a 3-loss team, we shouldn't have gone to 12. Because that's what you're going to have every year. You're going to have 11 or 12 is going to be a 3-loss team.
There is.
It's everybody else.
No. And I listen, I obviously am an SEC gal, so I would love to see more SEC teams in there. I also don't think the SEC is near as good as we prop them up to be all season. I don't. And that's where I'm saying, if SMU loses to Clemson, I would put SMU in over Alabama. SMU would only have 2 losses.
Yeah, but that's fine. But we were talking about.
I'm saying in general, I feel like we're just saying, if there's going to, we have to put a 3-loss team in. No, we don't.
I don't think we have to. I think
that's why I said neither Alabama nor South Carolina should be in my opinion, if SMU loses.
I think it's more just if there's a 3-loss team, it's not going to be South Carolina.
I don't think it should be Alabama either. But
it is going to. If it's a 3-loss team, it's Alabama. That's just. Listen, I'm not saying I love it, but that is the reality of the situation. If you look at their resumes, Alabama has better wins than Carolina does, and they beat them. Anyway,
pretty good argument.
It is a good argument. A good get you going.
I think all admit it too, because I've done it. we're making a mistake when we say a team isn't playoff caliber because we're deep engraved in our minds. We're thinking of top 4, top 6 as playoff caliber. 12-team playoff. A lot more teams really are playoff caliber. You got to think of
well,
that.
it's an argument I had today. And by the way, this tweet that you said, Kayce, that's not right.
It's
Right.
not?
It's somebody else. But people, Barrett Sallee tweeted today. He's like, we have a 12-team playoff, but there's not 12 teams worthy of winning the national title. That's why we have a motherfucking playoff. We put them in there, and whoever survives the playoff is the team that deserves to win the title. That's how motherfucking playoffs work.
But if you have to win,
1983 standpoint where I'm a college sports writer and I get to vote on the team that goes 12-0 to win the national title. No, they get to play it off on the fucking field.
no, I completely agree with that.
We find out who's worthy of winning the title by playing it off.
And that's where I will agree with you that if a team has 3 losses, if Alabama, hypothetically, Alabama gets into the playoff and they win the national title because they had to win every single game to win a national title, they are worthy of winning a national title. I don't understand that argument. I do completely agree with it. Like if that's how all playoffs work in all sports. I'm very curious to see who had a worse tweet than that because I was reading tweets today and that one was fucking terrible.
Can you send me, Kayce?
Do what? The worst tweet of the week?
Can you send me the one you're talking about, Kayce?
Yeah, and Brandon tweeted something about it too, and that's why I thought the only reason I said it was that one is because I saw you interacting with it, Brandon.
All right, we're gonna go around the country because we got a lot of other ones. The worst tweet of the week for college football is from @Colin Cowherd.
Oh,
4 hours ago.
Whoa!
The worst tweet of the week says, "It just dawned on me, USC has gotten worse the last 3 years." Well, welcome to fucking college football, Colin Cowherd. It just dawned on you. You've been sucking Lincoln Riley's dick for 3 years, and you haven't noticed they're not any good. You haven't noticed. You. Nobody has been more in the tank for a coach than Colin Cowherd for Lincoln Riley, and then today he's going to be like, "Well, shucks, I don't think USC is very good." No fucking shit, you non-football watching idiot. That's the worst tweet I've ever seen.
You know, Brandon, it just dawned on me. I think Ryan Day might have a problem beating Michigan. I don't know what happened. It just came to me.
I love the responses. Like one of the top ones is LOL, where the fuck have you been, dog?
It just dawned on me. Mike Leach ain't looking so hot right now. Like this, no fucking shit.
What was your first clue?
All I could think about.
This motherfucker lives in LA.
All I could think
lives in
I
LA.
said in the roughness group chat. It's all I could think about when Brand brought him up in that comment. This is all I could think about is that smug face talking about USC Penn State, I believe it was. Look now, Buster.
All right. Let's go around the country. So North Carolina State 35, North Carolina 30. There were the reports yesterday correct because he coached the game today. Is Mac Brown fired?
Yeah, he was always going to coach this game. They're not sure about the bowl game.
Okay, so
Mac
Brown.
And I don't know if you saw this. He's also very angry that the news came out this week. He wanted to wait till after this game.
Mac Brown's career appears to be over after a couple of up and down years at Carolina, but that'll do it for Mac Brown. And then they get beat by NC State 35-30, and then they have a flag fight. There were 3 flag fights that I counted today, maybe more.
I think there were 4.
There were 4. It was Michigan, Ohio State. It was North Carolina State, and Florida State. 3 flag fights.
In Arizona and Arizona State, it wasn't a flag, but it was like the pitchfork fight.
There was also kind of a 5th.
Well, who was that?
South Carolina's mascot took a dump on the Tiger Paw.
Saw that. Sir Big Spur took a big fat dump on the Tiger Paw. Yeah.
I'm obviously, because we've been live, but I saw something about how Sark might have diffused something at Kyle Field too. I didn't watch the video, but something about that too, which is
and SC planted a flag at the Rose Bowl last week, but it wasn't rivalry week, and the Bruins didn't refute, so all good. Bruins 1-0 in rivalry weeks this season.
Congrats, Liam.
We haven't beat them since 2000.
Notre Dame 49-35 over USC, which means Notre Dame, after that embarrassing loss early in the season, has run the table and will not only be in a playoff game, they're gonna host a playoff game. They're gonna have a 19-degree playoff game with snow on the ground. That's how far Notre Dame has come. I'll say this: I'll say this. It was a 42-35 game with 2 minutes left. USC is almost to the end zone to tie it up. They throw a pick six, 100-yard pick six. They lose 49-35. That Notre Dame defense gave up 557 yards to a backup quarterback at USC. Wasn't exactly the most dominant performance ever from Notre Dame, even though it kind of, they won by 14. That's all.
But I think that the flashes and everything were there. I mean, look, again, it's not a rivalry game. It's another tough game to win. We saw the offense completely explode. We saw the defenses come up with 2 big pick sixes in the red zone to seal the game within 2 minutes of each other. The run game still dominated. Jeremiah Love got hurt during it. So hopefully he's all good and banged up. All world athlete, all galaxy. He's unbelievable. I do think this is a really good win for Notre Dame at the end of the day, even though the defense got a little bit. Brandon, Penn State loses to Oregon. This year, 5 seed. Notre Dame gets the Notre Dame spot. They get the Big 12. They get the group of 5. It's a semifinal team, and they're going to be a tough out because of the identity that they play football. Just truth.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
The Notre Dame spot, 1,000%. Makes me sick.
The Northern Illinois game was a complete anomaly. It doesn't matter right now.
Yeah, it was. I'll say this one more thing about Notre Dame. Indiana, Texas, Penn State, as we've gone down the balance of the season, have taken some. There have been people pointing out, these Texas hadn't really played anybody until tonight. Penn State really didn't beat anybody this year. Indiana didn't play anybody. And it was kind of forgotten that we made fun of Notre Dame's schedule all offseason about how easy it was going to be. And once they got through Northern Illinois and they had the loss and then they just ran the table, we're talking about beating Army. We're talking about beating Navy. We're talking about beating down USC. I'm just saying. Anyway, Arizona State is 10-2, ladies and gentlemen. Arizona State 10-2, 1 win from going to the playoff in year 2 of Kenny Dillingham. If you're looking for the best young coach in the country, he might be in Tempe, Arizona. Big F.
Yeah, I mean, hell of a season by them. Like you said, I mean, they were getting picked to come in last in this conference. Everyone talking about Kansas being the hottest team. They get smoked today. Arizona State's been the hottest team without question. Conference championship game, I think no matter who's in it, it's going to be really exciting. I mean, they're the clear spot. Like if they're the team that leaves no doubt for the Big 12. I think Big 12 is fine now the way things have kind of played out, but kind of the scenario that we were talking about a few weeks ago, I think Arizona is the clearest. They leave 0 doubt. They win. They're 100. I think they're even there. Do we think they jump Boise, get the bye? You think they can do that, or you think that's too much of a gap? Because they've closed it pretty significantly.
I think you would give the edge to ASU after beating, let's say, Iowa State, assuming BYU holds on. I think ASU being Iowa State's going to jump them. But UNLV, Boise State, if Boise State does beat UNLV is going to be top 20 probably. So that win, it's going to be close.
That's what I'm saying. I think it's like ASU winning is the best scenario for them to get a top 4.
Correct.
For sure. Absolutely. But, I mean, Boise State, as we talked about last week, I mean, their only loss being to Oregon, it also is going to play a factor.
SMU 38, Cal 6. SMU 11-1. We kind of talked about it earlier. I didn't mean to because I wrote the question down for right now. SMU in no matter what?
Unless they get killed.
Yeah, I think it's if they keep it within like 7, I think they should be in.
I do too.
Easily.
I do too.
So you guys, as of right now, your vote to get that 12th spot. Again, I gave you 11 that looked pretty rock solid. Your bid to get the 12th spot is SMU.
Yes, if the game is close. If Clemson kills them, then no. But again, Clemson shouldn't even be in the game. But yes, I would put SMU in there.
Oh, hold on. This Clemson shouldn't be in the game.
Not should be in the game. They were gifted the game. I mean, they lost.
They played their ACC schedule. What?
They did lose today. Like, it's not like they won to get in. They were in because of default.
This is for the ACC championship. They lost today, but yeah, what Lemon?
Just like you guys talk on.
Okay.
Well, it depends. So the SMU thing is like, listen, do I think that they are better than like Bama or South Carolina, whoever? Like, probably not. But even SMU's a team, most of their games, really besides like the Duke game, they've been rolling people. Like they at least have been beating the shit out of these bad teams. So I guess they deserve a little bit of credit for that. I think at least when it comes to the ACC, I think they're legit. I think they absolutely can beat Clemson.
Yeah, they can.
I think they definitely
can. Are you pained about me? What's your face blubbing?
Yeah,
I'm just
disgusted by SMU for some reason.
I'm not disgusted by SMU. I like SMU a lot. I'm just bouncing through the stuff in my head. I feel like you guys don't know the committee. The committee.
No. That's what I think should happen.
No, that's he asked us if we would. If we had
I don't know. Bama could just easily give it to Bama, and what the fuck's SMU going to do about it? But
I have a question. I'm gonna just throw it out like this. 11-1 Indiana right now. Are they a lock for the playoff?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, SMU's 11-1 right now, and they have better wins than Indiana. So
that's why I think they should just be in.
And I don't think that they should get left out if their second loss is in the conference championship. Like that to me plays a factor, which again goes, not to revisit the whole thing, but to me, like up against any 3-loss teams, I agree with that. Do I think they could beat Alabama? Do I think they could beat Ole Miss? Do I think they could beat South Carolina? I don't know, but I know that you can't discredit a team for making it to the conference championship, and that's where their second loss could potentially come from. I'm not saying that's what the committee is going to do. That's what they should do.
That's where we're in we're in a world where some people, SEC fans want to put who they believe the best team is in, and the committee and a lot of other people are in the business of putting in the teams who have the best season. Because in my opinion, Ole Miss, South Carolina, Alabama, all of them are better than Indiana. But Indiana's a no doubt lock for the playoff because Indiana went 11-1, and Indiana earned their way there. And those other teams lost to Kentucky and lost to Oklahoma and dicked around and farted around and played themselves out. Indiana never played themselves out. So They deserve to go, even though, South Carolina's better than Indiana, but South Carolina fucked around.
Well, and that's an SMU, if they make it to the conference championship and they lose a close game. Now, if Clemson wins by 90, but still, they should be in it. I don't think you should punish a team if your second loss comes in the conference title game. I just don't.
That's probably true, but the committee and Greg Sankey probably have matching erections right now for putting Alabama in over SMU. If we're just
and they do have Alabama beat Georgia, so we talk about all these head-to-heads, whatever, man. I'm so sad about tonight that we could be playing whatever. Keep going.
I think the unfortunate reality that is set in is that if no conference championships, then don't play the games if the losses matter and are going to boot the team out that play a whole regular season and earn the right to be in the playoff. We're going to it's just you earn the right to play an extra game. If you lose it, that's on you. Win the game.
Yeah, but see, Liam, that's where, and not to bring up what Lane Kiffin said, because Brandon will go crazy, but that's where Lane's whole point was well, if SMU was sitting right now 11-1 and not playing for the conference title, they would be in. There'd be no question.
Indiana's in a great spot because of it.
Do what?
Indiana's in a great spot because of it. I agree.
Well, right. So it's then if you know that you could potentially be left out if your second loss comes in the conference championship game, why would you want to get there if you think you can lose?
I don't know. It's just.
To win a fucking conference championship.
If you think that you can win,
but what Liam is saying is proving that point. It's well, if SMU loses, they should be out because they have 2 losses. Well, then just don't try to get to the championship.
Maybe you're right. Maybe you're right, but he is also right. SMU go win the fucking game.
Oh, I agree with that, but I'm saying I don't think we should just be well, they should be out if they lose it. If you sit looking at Indiana right now, Indiana's in a great spot because they're not playing for a Big Ten championship and they're 11-1. If SMU is doing the same thing and they're well, then why would we want to go play Clemson if we lose by 2-3 points? We're going to be left out. What the fuck? Why does Indiana get in over us? And we made it further than Indiana in our conference.
Indiana should send Penn State a postcard for taking care of business against Maryland today. SMU don't have the loser mentality of we shouldn't be playing this game, or else you've already lost the war and you're going to win the second war in the committee's chair room. It's over. It's done at that point. Go win the game.
I agree with that. I don't think you should be penalized if your second loss comes in a conference championship.
Then we got to do something else. Then we got to do something else, and the conference championship game has to go poof. It's got to go because we can't be ruining. You get what I'm saying?
No, I don't.
I think you've got to just recognize that it should not count the same way a regular season loss counts.
So then it's an exhibition game.
No, it's not. It's a championship
But,
game. It's an
but,
extra
but I feel
game.
like you're, but Baldwin,
What he
just
is
take
saying
the
is-
committee.
what he-
No, take the committee stuff. No. Use your brain. Use your brain. Should it count the same way as regular season law? Yes or no? It's yes or no. It's yes or
Say
no.
again.
Should a conference championship game loss count the same as regular season loss?
No.
I mean, it's such an easy answer. You're doing
What's the man
semantics.
answer?
I just think this is crazy. I feel like I'm
I
I
taking
just think it's another game on the schedule that you got to go out of the win. I think it's unfortunate.
It's not another
that
game on the
you-
schedule.
But you
Not
earned,
another
but you
game on the
earned it by
schedule.
winning.
Correct.
You
You
literally
did earn
earned
the
it by
right to
winning.
play there, and you're playing risk with it. If
Yeah,
you
but
risk
it's not another game on the
but
schedule.
why should there be risk? It's an extra game that you
correct,
earned.
which makes
You
it an
earned it.
exhibition game. Then, if
It's not
We're all
another
saying
game
the
on the
same thing
schedule.
here.
You
We're
play
all
the
saying the
schedule
same
to make it to the championship.
Let me
we're
tell
all
y'all
saying
one
the same
thing.
thing here.
Y'all keep yelling at Blutman. We're gonna have a fucking problem. We're gonna have a
I-
motherfucking problem
we're
up in here.
saying the same thing.
Shit.
It is. I feel like we're not. I feel like you're saying they should get
No.
penalized.
I'll burn this
But
whole
it's an
motherfucker to the ground.
exhibition game.
I'll
not an
burn this
exhibition game.
motherfucker to the flat ass ground. Baylor 45,
It's
Kansas
ridiculous.
17. We mentioned earlier.
We're not saying the same thing at all.
No.
I feel like I'm getting gaslit right now.
I know I'm getting
We couldn't be
gaslit.
saying we couldn't be
Brandon,
saying more
moderate
opposite things, I
this.
feel like
You're
saying
you
it
both
should be. You're
are
saying it should just
arguing.
count.
You both are arguing your points. What Blutman is saying is correct. That this mentality that there's only a lose-lose proposition to go there. If teams are going to have that, then we shouldn't have the conference championship games. We shouldn't give these teams the risk. Given that SMU is going to be assuming this risk and they're going to be in this spot, they need to approach this and go win the fucking game. This is an obstacle being put in there. If y'all want to get rid of the obstacle, fine. That's fine.
No.
That's
This is
fine.
not. This
That's what
is
he's
okay.
saying. What
We're
they're
not
saying,
that SMU should. We're not saying that SMU should go in and be like, we're going to lose this game. Blutman's saying it's another game on the schedule. No, it's not. You
It's
play
what
the regular. You play the regular
Casey,
season
the
to make it to
problem
the
is-
conference championship.
the problem is it will be up to the committee's interpretation to say if it's another game on the schedule
But
or
that's
not.
why Eb asked, and I'll ask you the same thing, Brandon. If Mississippi State had one loss and they go play Georgia in the SEC championship and you lose by 3, you're going to sit there and tell me that's the same as losing to Kentucky in week 5?
I don't know who said that.
That's what Eb just asked Blutman, and Blutman
You
was like,
say
it's just,
that just comparing it to like a normal loss, because to me, I think it's something I almost think it should be kind of like a no risk, like reward kind of thing. Like you earn the ability to like earn that reward. You're like, it's conference championship game. Obviously, you're going into it like we need to win this game. But I think from the committee's eyes, it is like asinine to me that they can earn a conference championship bid where a team behind them literally did not earn it, and then they literally are getting penalized potentially for losing this game that the other team did not even earn the opportunity to get. Like,
Can I
to
stop
me,
everybody
it's
there?
like they should be slotted above them because they earned that spot regardless of the outcome of the game.
Can I stop everybody
100%
there?
agree.
This is the first year of the 12-team playoff. We have no idea how the committee is going to treat SMU next week if they lose that game. We have no idea. We have no idea if they're going to take your approach and say they earned it in the regular season. That game doesn't matter. We have no idea if they're going to punish them. We have no idea, but we're sitting there arguing like it has already happened. So maybe we'll just see what happens.
Take care of
That's a
business.
fair point.
Yeah.
I think
But-
it's because Sankey said he would defend the shield for the SEC, so I feel like everyone should get that same grace.
If they do take care of business, like he's saying, if they just go take care of business, there's no discussion to be had.
Well, I mean, but obviously that's
why I had a problem with Lane Kiffin saying what he said. He still had 2 games in the regular season. He's like, well, I don't want to get sent there because we might lose. Well, guess what?
But-
You ain't going now. You ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, but
'Cause
like
you-
if somebody else would have said it, you would not like. That's why.
Yeah, no, I absolutely would.
Yeah.
I absolutely would.
The
That was a loser thing for a coach to say.
the whole okay, and that's fine because you should go in and win. But the way that Eb just laid it out is perfectly true. Like you should not get penalized for making a game that the other teams behind you couldn't make in the regular season. They didn't play well enough to make it to the conference championship. And if you play well enough to make it, you shouldn't be penalized.
Colorado 52, Oklahoma State nothing. 2 things about this game. Number 1 is Colorado said, fuck it, he's winning the Heisman, and he is. He's going to win the Heisman. Travis Hunter will be your Heisman winner this year. I don't know how I feel about it. I think Ashton Jeanty also deserves the Heisman, but Travis Hunter will be your 2024 Heisman winner, and Colorado absolutely decided yesterday, he's winning that award, and good for them. Number two, and I'll open it up for discussion. I don't know that I've ever seen a collapse like Oklahoma State this year. They had 21 of 22 starters coming back this year from a team that won 9 or 10 last year. They were coming in. It was basically a new conference with everybody coming in, and they were going to be one of the swinging dicks. And they don't win a conference game. It's a phenomenal collapse by them. But there you go. There's your two conversation pieces. Hunter's going to win the Heisman. Oklahoma State collapsed. Somebody talk.
Yeah, I mean, I think Oklahoma State's probably feeling pretty lucky that Florida State exists, and really that Florida State exists. I was looking for a better. That's it. The fact that Florida State kind of, and especially Florida State looks so bad so early. They stole that kind of that. What are you doing? This epic collapse thunder immediately. That Oklahoma State was able to kind of just slide under the radar and be like, holy shit, they're 0-6 in the Big 12. Like, what this team's awful. And then this game was like kind of the culmination of it, losing 52-0, where if you were watching that game, they literally could not pick up a first down. They were so bad.
Yeah,
I mean, Colorado could have won this game by 100 if they wanted to.
Yeah. Kayce, Travis Hunter will win the Heisman.
Yeah, no, I do agree. Ashton Jeanty obviously had an unbelievable season. I to the Oklahoma State point, and I've been saying it all year. Like, I know that you can't. I guess you can, but like they're not going to fire Mike Gundy. But like they're like Oklahoma State. Like, what are we doing? And I know they've had some up years. I get that. But like they're just not going to get over the hump. And Oklahoma and Texas leave, and going into the year, I think like one of our first podcasts as the new foursome, it was like, who is primed to take over the Big 12 as like the brand program? It's like, well, Oklahoma State's right there. I don't understand it. Also, I mean, Colorado, I mean, it looks like BYU is going to hang on. There's a lot of game left, but like Shedeur Sanders should also be in New York. Like, I mean, that's something that like Travis Hunter, obviously, and like what he's doing is unbelievable. And like, you know, you've said it, Brandon, like a lot of coaches wouldn't let Travis Hunter do what he's doing. And that's why it's obviously helped his cause playing for Deion. Shedeur's one of the best quarterbacks in the country. Like, Shedeur absolutely should get in New York.
Let me stop you right there. I like that you brought that point up because Hunter is kind of overshadowing him. I'm going to say 3 locks for New York right now. Travis Hunter, Ashton Jeanty, Cam Ward. I think those 3 are locks. I think those are just stone cold, 100% locks. Even though Miami lost today, he was still good. Y'all fill out the next 2. Let's say they invite 5. Dylan Gabriel, perhaps. Shedeur Sanders. You know, there are other guys that off the top of my head, I'm just kind of whatever. But anybody got anything else for me?
Yeah, I think Shedeur should be top 3. I think he has a very good argument to win the award, quite honestly. I think it should be a 3-head race. And I think I would send Cam Skagbo to New York. I would argue that there isn't a player as important to his team as Cam Skagbo is to Arizona State's success.
I do think Dylan Gabriel will go because they're the number 1 team in the country. And like that, you know, he has had a pretty good year, but I agree. I think Shedeur should be top 3. And he's going to get overshadowed because again, Travis is doing things we've never seen, but like he's balling his ass off. Like, I mean, he's unbelievable.
I'd put Shedeur 4. I wouldn't put him top 3. I'd put him behind Cam Ward. I put him behind Ashton Jeanty. I put him behind Travis Hunter. But again, 4 is there's nothing to sneeze at right there. Big, have you got anybody to add or just to reiterate?
No. Shedeur would be my 4 as well. I feel like I remember saying it like a month or 2 ago that I thought it really was just because of Travis was the only reason that he wasn't getting any Heisman love. It was kind of surprising to me, but I guess I understand it. You're just not going to have 2 guys like that. I mean, this is a year where Travis is such a favorite. Probably a good chance they just invite 3, no?
Yeah,
it's possible. It's possible.
They've done that before. I mean,
watch me set up an alley-oop right here. A lot of people in the chat are saying Tyler Warren, but Blutman, you want to tell them who the best tight end in the country is?
The best tight end in the country played at Penn State, but his name is Harold Fannin.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Worst tweet. Oh. Florida beats Florida State. Whatever. Doesn't matter. Is this report true? Or did I get ball sacked? Gus Malzahn out as UCF coach, in as Florida State offensive coordinator?
That is true.
True. Yeah. Not doing a thumbs up for the hire.
If a coach,
no, you're doing a thumbs up saying that it's true. Not
the hire.
We're seeing it with Chip Kelly now, but if a coach decides in this era he's done, he's 60 years old, he doesn't want to recruit anymore, he doesn't have the fire in his belly, he doesn't have it anymore, I'm just going to go be the offensive coordinator for another team. I don't think you need to hire that coach. I don't think What in the world is 59-year-old Gus Malzahn going to do to resurrect Florida State's offense? Not a goddamn thing unless Cam Newton's over there somewhere. Like, Gus Malzahn's your answer?
I don't even he's not going in to run his scheme. There's no way. He's going to have to run the Norvell scheme, which you need a very specific quarterback to succeed with. What the heck's he going to do?
I don't understand I understand Malzahn not probably getting ahead of being fired. I get that. But I don't understand at all this. If I'm hiring an offensive coordinator in 2024, I think I'm setting an age limit at like 36. If my offensive coordinator is older than 40, I'm like, I don't think that's going to work these days. Maybe that's just me. Maybe that's just ageist. I don't know. But I need an offensive. I almost want an offensive coordinator who's like 22. Give me a 22-year-old offensive coordinator. Give me the youngest one.
Let him do it.
I don't want to do it. I want to stay in the front office way of things. I got an OC for you though. I got an OC around the 22-year-old range.
I'm going to regret asking this.
I can't say who.
Is he a CIA agent?
No, gosh no. He knows who he is. He's good at what he does. He'll be in the coaching ranks eventually.
Well, as long as he knows who he is.
He does.
Kayce, do some business.
I'm going to do some business, and my phone keeps turning off because I set it to where I don't want to see anything on Twitter or Instagram. Okay, some business. Chubbies. We love some Chubbies. Brandon, so you remember a few weeks ago whenever your sister and Paige and I slept in your studio?
Oh, yeah. People in my show still talk about that.
Oh, well, we slept in your studio and we were going to look for some pajamas because we did not have pajamas. We went into the Pardon My Take closet and we found some Chubbies, and we have pictures of us wearing the Chubbies. They are so comfortable that you can sleep in them, but they don't look like you're supposed to sleep in them because they're that stylish. They're that suave. They are that trendy, but they're comfortable enough that 3 girls could lay down on Brandon Walker's studio floor and sleep comfortably. That'll tell you how good Chubbies are. I'm sure they hate this ad read, but that's what we're going with, okay? So they look great and they make a lasting impression. They're the perfect blend of stylish and fun and comfortable. You can even sleep in them. You can elevate your style this holiday season or find the perfect gift for somebody who's hard to shop for. We talk about the shorts all the time. They have all the 3 different inseams, but they also have winter ready gear that keeps you warm and stylish. And for a limited time, Chubbies is giving our listeners 20% off your order with the exclusive code UR. That's UR at checkout at chubbiesshorts.com. It's Black Friday and Cyber Monday, so no code is needed, but you can take advantage of the extra exclusive benefit Black Friday sale with an even bigger markdown. So as always, 20% off using code UR. But right now, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, go to Chubbies. Again, they're stylish, they're trendy, they're fun, they're comfortable.
All right. Stop me when I get to a game we should talk about. If I have skipped a team, let's make sure we give them love right now. In the ACC, this made me sad. On rivalry weekend, Stanford loses to the classic ACC game here. Stanford loses to San Jose State 34-31. Georgia 44, Georgia Tech 42, and 8 overtimes. South Carolina 17, Clemson 14, Louisville 41, Kentucky 14. You know what? We've talked about a lot of collapses on this show. We've talked about Oklahoma State. We've talked about Florida State. Kentucky's kind of skating by, but what a fucking bottom out by that program who I thought had achieved under Mark Stoops, achieved a level of, their worst is going to be like 6-6. They bottom out at 4-8. Garbage from Kentucky this year.
They almost had Summerall. Remember last offseason? They almost had Summerall.
Stoops was almost A&M, and they almost had Summerall.
What a world the coaching carousel is. Nothing better.
Brock Vandagriff. Woof.
Oh, Duke.
He's the can't watch, like the bad for your eyes game of the week.
God, he's so bad.
Oh.
How?
Duke 23, Wake Forest 17. Walk-off touchdown there, I believe.
9 wins.
9-3 Duke.
9-3 Duke. 9-3 Syracuse, right?
Yeah.
Boston College 34, Pitt 23, Syracuse 42, Miami 38, SMU 38, Cal 6, NC State 35-30 over North Carolina, Florida 31, Florida State 11, and the Virginia Tech beats the shit out of Virginia 37.
Fire Tony Elliott.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Fired him after his first season, no cap.
In the Did you say no cap?
He
Yeah.
did.
No sniffing of the kizzy. That's just straight facts. They should have fired Tony Elliott after the first season.
BYU currently leading Houston 21-10, Colorado 52, Oklahoma State nothing, Utah 28, UCF 14, Texas Tech 52, West Virginia 15. Neil Brown seems to be the escape master where he escapes with his job every year. I think he should be fired.
Gone. Has to be gone. He botched the quarterback decision again.
Baylor 45, Kansas 17. You mentioned earlier Kansas was the hottest team in the Big 12, and I agree with that coming in. But Baylor might be the hottest team in the Big 12 with Arizona State too, because Baylor I think won the last 6 or something like that.
They've won 6 in a row. That Baylor fans have been in my mentions reminding me of that. I'm not sure what banner they get for that, but they're there.
Arizona State 49, Arizona 7, TCU 20, Cincinnati 13, and Iowa State 29, Kansas State 21 in the Big 12. In the Big 10, cover your ears, some of you. Minnesota 24, Wisconsin 7, Iowa 13, Nebraska 10.
By the way, woof, that game.
Yeah.
Iowa had 5 total first downs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was bad.
Nebraska's what, like 9-35 in their last 44 one-score games? How is that humanly possible to fall on the wrong side of a coin flip that many times?
Nebraska.
Yeah. There's your answer. It's a one-side coin.
Illinois 38, Northwestern 28. Illinois finishes 9-3, I think. Michigan 13, Ohio State 10. If we have time, and at the end we'll talk about that game. Rutgers 41, Michigan State 14. Rutgers finishes 7-5. Penn State 40. What?
Jonathan Smith failed year one very badly at Michigan State. I've talked about it a bit. He is not even close to the same human that was coaching at Oregon State. I don't know what happened. I think Michigan State might be in trouble with the hire.
Penn State 44, Maryland 7, Notre Dame 49, USC 35, UCLA 20, Fresno State 13. Huge rivalry game win there. Indiana scores after being up 59-0. Within 2 minutes, they score a touchdown to win 66-0. 2 weeks after whining like bitches because Ohio State did the same thing to them. Oregon 49, Washington 21. And we move on to what? The SEC? Is that the last conference that I haven't done? The last major conference? Ole Miss. Well, Georgia 44, Georgia Tech 42, Tennessee 36, Vanderbilt 23. Tennessee down 14-0, like 31 seconds into the game. And then they're just quietly marching in this playoff. Mm-hmm. Defense is good. They shut down Pavia after a slow start. Nico suddenly played all right today. Dylan Sampson's one of the 5 best running backs in the country. South Carolina 17, Clemson 14, Louisville over Kentucky. Alabama 28, Auburn 14, which after 6 years of doing this podcast, probably the latest we've ever mentioned the Iron Bowl on this show.
Yeah.
The Iron Brawl.
Yeah,
they fought a ton.
Everybody brawled. Missouri 28, Arkansas 21, LSU 37-17 over Oklahoma. And then Texas beats A&M 17-7.
Sad.
How much business we got left?
1. DraftKings.
And then we'll get to who won the week.
DraftKings, our official partner of Barstool Sports, official betting partner. Obviously, our parlay did not hit. I'll be honest, I don't know what my pick was, but I assume that it lost because I feel like I just lost all day today. But that doesn't matter because it's a new week, Brandon. And on DraftKings, obviously, you can bet any sport and all newbies. Right now, the new deal is, because we're going into December, it is December 1st as we speak. Bet $5 on anything. Doesn't matter what the odds are. It could be minus 2,000, minus 3,000, minus. Go put a future on Travis Hunter right now to win the Heisman. He's going to do it, folks. If it wins, you get $150 in bonus bets immediately. So again, just $5, all newbies on DraftKings. Use code ROUGH, ROUGH. We love DraftKings so much. $5 if it hits, $150 in bonus bets instantly. Gamble responsibly.
Big Ev, who won the week?
Who fucking cares?
I'm
gonna say Oregon. I'm gonna say they didn't even really do anything. They smashed Washington. I think more just that they're in the spot where they win the Big Ten. They're the 1 seed. sitting pretty. And if they lose, they're the 5 seed, maybe even a better spot. They'll have a cupcake to the Final Four. So I'll go Oregon because I want to unalive myself.
Blubman, who won the week?
I didn't write anything down off the top of my head. I know this is a game changer. Off the top of my head, obviously Michigan. Garrett Nussmeier has redeemed himself, even though Will Campbell might not be near as good as we think. Nussmeier almost broke, I think, 17 ribs in the first half, came back, just balling. The guy's legit. He's an NFL quarterback. Don't let anyone tell you he ain't him. He's that guy. I think another winner was another quarterback. I'm blanking on it because I didn't write anything down. That's on me, is what it is. Go on.
Kayce, who won the week?
It's Notre Dame. I mean, obviously, Michigan's a great choice. Texas is a great choice. I think Texas would have potentially maybe been in either way, but Notre Dame really benefited from what happened with Ohio State today. And, they obviously, it was a close game against USC. It doesn't really matter. They lost to Northern Illinois, which was one of the worst losses we've seen. It doesn't matter. It was in week 2, and they're going to get, we mentioned it. They're going to get that spot. That's the best spot to get in this playoff format as it is. It's that number 5 spot. You play the 12 seed, and then you play the worst of the power conference champions or whoever the champion is there. So yeah, I think it's Notre Dame. And listen, this is coming from somebody who said they shouldn't make the playoff because they lost to Northern Illinois. Obviously their schedule wasn't super, super crazy outside of, week 1 and tonight, but at the same time, they just rolled everybody and they look pretty good. So I think Notre Dame really benefited from Ohio State fucking up today.
I certainly wouldn't pencil in Notre Dame to that 5 spot just yet.
I think that
beat Oregon.
If Penn State beats Oregon.
Yeah. And then Oregon will be the 5.
Yes, but as of right, when we're going into Tuesday night right now, I mean, Notre Dame will be in that spot comfortably because they don't have to play in championship weekend. So
but if they go by the principle y'all want them to go by, Penn State might still get that 5 spot.
Could they potentially put Texas there with a close loss?
With a close loss, yeah, I think they could.
Because they would have they would literally match Notre Dame's win, and it would be more recent.
Yeah. I can't believe y'all are making me do this. You barely, Blevin barely mentioned it. Kayce just barely drove by it. I got 2. I'll say my other one, but Michigan won the week. I don't want to say it. I don't want Dave Portnoy to be happy. I don't want this to have happened. But Michigan, in a year where they were downtrodden and terrible, and they don't have a quarterback and they don't have nothing, they had to watch their rival be the number 2 team in the country. They walk into that rival's house and thump them on the skull and beat them for the 4th straight time. You win 3 in a row, and you have some circumstances around that. As soon as those circumstances go away, you expect them to lose the 4th one, and then they don't. They now just own Ohio State. They own that coach. You could have knocked me over a feather when I saw that Michigan won this game. There's no way Michigan can win this game, and they did, and they won the week because of it. Sharon Moore, everybody on Michigan's team, they won the week, period. Now, the one I had written down before you guys didn't take Michigan is the playoff committee, because let's be honest, they're not going to have to do a whole lot of work, I don't think. I think there's 11 spots here that are pretty much taken care of. Again, the 4 Big Ten teams, that's pretty easy. The 3 SEC teams right now, that's pretty easy. Notre Dame's pretty easy. Big 12, ACC, Group of 5, that's 11. So we just got to sit down for a couple hours and come up with one team, whether it's SMU or Alabama or any, I think the committee's job is going to be really fucking easy. So I think what has happened in the last couple of weeks, the committee kind of won the week. Now,
Brandon, the reason I didn't say Michigan is because I can't do it to my friend Big Ev. I can't kick him while I'm also down. I can't do it.
Let me tell you something. I respect Big Ev as a friend, a ball knower. I asked him to come on the show. We asked him to come on the show. I've asked him to come on shows before. I like Big Ev. I respect him, but he'd kick me when I'm down, and I have no problem saying it when he's down. That's just what it is.
That's fine. Yeah. I personally could not do it because my team also lost to our rival today. Now his meant a lot more. No offense.
Yeah,
we do share the same feelings too about that program. Can I give Brady Cook a winner of the week?
Sure.
Sorry. Mizzou on senior night, and for all we've bashed on Mizzou all year long, Brady Cook to have a 30-yard touchdown run in a blizzard on senior night, pretty sick moment to beat Arkansas. I want to give him his flowers.
All right. Big Ev, who lost the week?
I mean, obviously it's Ohio State. That was the most disgraceful, embarrassing performance I've ever seen. Listen, I go in these things, just touch on the thing before. I go in these things. No one at this company roots for me ever, literally ever. They'll piss on my leg and tell me it's raining from time to time. I'm used to not getting the support, but why would they support us? We're a joke. Yeah, I mean, it's just an embarrassment. There's no other way to describe it than just a complete and utter embarrassment, a failure, just a loss that'll leave scars on me for probably the rest of my life.
I'm not laughing. I get it. I'm laughing because I get it. Blubman, who lost the week?
There's always a lot of losers, but this week there's only one big fat giant loser, and that's been him his whole life. It's Ryan Day. That's enough said.
Kayce?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like my shit list will be about, my game, but yeah, I mean, it's obviously Ryan Day and Ohio State. And like, especially, you mentioned Michigan, like Michigan, the only thing they had to play for was to play spoiler for Ohio State, and Ohio State will still be in, but for Ohio State to be sitting there looking at the rematch with Oregon, potentially getting the bye, winning the Big Ten championship, which they have not done in the last 3 years. Like, I mean, yeah, like they're probably gonna be playing on the road now, I would assume, for a college football playoff spot. And like, that is a huge thing. And Ryan Day just crying after the game. Like we talked about it with the fact that he got up there is like, I'm not going to let them put the flag on our field. Don't let him fucking win then, my guy. I don't know what to tell you.
It was windy.
So I think as far as loss of the week, Mario Cristobal in Miami picked a hell of a week to lose because they got overshadowed. All they had to do was beat Syracuse, and they're in the playoff, and they figured out a way to lose it. But it's 4 for 4 because it can't be anybody but Ryan Day. And I take Ohio State out of this and put it squarely on Ryan Day's shoulders because the defense fought their ass off. Ryan Day, you hired Chip Kelly, and you're an offensive guy yourself. You go out and choose your own quarterback. You choose Will Howard. And on a day like today, you had a pussy play caller with a quarterback who wasn't good enough to get the job done. And that is on you. That is on you. You had a chance to go out and get a Cam Ward or get somebody else, and you didn't do it. You got this guy. And not only that, you let a team who can't throw the football, a bad team beat you with one arm tied behind their back because they're tough and you're not. You are not mentally tough, and you lost the week. It's Ryan Day, and it can't be anybody else. Now, I'll finish that statement with this. On the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now, you can get Ohio State plus 500 to win the national championship, and that is what I'll be doing as soon as this show is over.
It's a waste of money. You might as well
No,
burn
it's
it.
not. It might be, but if this don't light a fire under his ass.
Anyway. You mean like losing? You like losing to Michigan 3 years in a row when it light a fire under your ass? Like not winning the Big Ten 3 years in a row light a fire under your ass?
To start the day, they were the betting favorite. As of right now, you can get them 5-1. They're fifth. So it's worth a look. It is worth a look. Nobody else out there is a lead either.
I can see the future here. This might even be like optimistic. I might even be doing Ryan Day like more, give him more credit than he deserves. What's gonna happen, I think, is Ohio State's gonna be on that like 8-9 line. Like maybe they host it, maybe they don't. They win that first game, and listen, they might lose it. That's where I say I might be giving them too much credit. They might just go lose it. But I could see a world where they win that game, then the next game, it's a game where like they'll like play like Georgia or somebody, and it's a game where like they should have won it, but then like they'll find a way to lose it because that's what Ryan Day does. And we'll sit there and be like, oh, like you know what, they were right there. Like let's give them one more shot, and the whole cycle just starts over again. We'll do it again next year. We'll be losers again because that's what we are with Ryan Day as head coach. I'm telling you, save this clip because I'm telling you that's what's going to happen. Or we're just going to get embarrassed in the first round. That might happen too.
They should fire him if you guys don't.
This team is mentally dead. The way these guys are acting. I mean, I just saw the clip. I had to watch it. I had to mute it and just watch it of Mason Graham calling Jack Sawyer a pussy, and Jack Sawyer's like, "Your season's over." Well, I wanted to crawl out of my skin. I was like, this team is. It's not even about physically. The defense played tough. They're mentally soft, and that's all Ryan Day. It all trickles down. He's mentally soft. He's a fucking mental midget bitch, and that's where this whole team is too. It's all his fault. It's all starts with him, and it trickles down. Urban Meyer, tough, nasty SOB. That's what the team was, tough, nasty SOBs. We need to get one of those in our locker room because right now we don't have one.
You did it, huh? And I mean, Ev, I know you defended him, and at the time I would have done the same thing. But like, you knew how much of a mental midget that man was when they beat Notre Dame last year, and he called out Lou Holtz's old ass who was asleep. Like that right there tells you how much of a mental midget that man is. Like, come on, man. Like Lou Holtz has been asleep for 4 hours.
Hold on, I fuck Lou Holtz. Okay.
Well, I'm not.
He knew what he was saying.
I'm not saying because it's specifically Lou Holtz. Like you just beat Notre Dame on the road, and the first thing you ask is where like an 85-year-old man is at the moment. Like, come
That's
on,
who
man.
you picked the
Fuck
fight
Lou
with.
Holtz. We didn't
He
shit
was
on Ryan
talking
Day.
shit. He literally picked
That's
the-
not
he
what
picked
a.
the fight.
First shit get hit.
You know who wouldn't do it? Urban Meyer wouldn't have done that.
I bet Urban Meyer would have done that.
He would not have.
Actually, I don't think
you
he
would
would've.
pick
I
a
don't-
fight
I-
with someone on his level that he could beat up handily anyway. You wouldn't pick on the old man who doesn't know what he's talking about. I have something else that we need to bring
Y'all
up.
do it all the time.
I'd be remiss if we didn't bring this up. The Tyreek Johnson tweet from earlier.
Remissed is not a word, by the way. Remissed is not a word.
I speak Liam. Tyreek Johnson's tweet, the former Ohio State Buckeye turned Nebraska player, played for Ohio State when they made national championship, lost to Alabama. Said Coach Ryan Day, in the halftime when they were down 35-17 to Alabama, Ryan Day did not say a word to the team. Went into his office and he started blaming other coaches. Leader of men, certified bum, scrub, loser.
Listen, it's awful fun right now to shit on Ryan Day. I get it.
And always will be.
Why
And
did
will always
Tyreek
be
Johnson?
correct.
Why didn't Tyreek Johnson say that yesterday?
I don't know, man. I don't got the answer, but he's right.
Somebody
It
step
doesn't
up and
matter
tell the
when,
truth
it
about
matters
the man
that it did
before this
happen.
happens. Somebody step up and tell the truth about the man before it happens. That's
Hasn't
all I'm saying.
hasn't he had a few of these tweets randomly the last like couple years when they've lost?
Yes. I don't remember the exact.
Yeah, I knew that. I
specifics.
remember this wasn't the first time. I don't think
It
he's
wasn't the
done
first.
this.
No, and he was crying like for Lane Kiffin to be the head coach today too.
Yes, Indy Marauder. Remiss is a word, but remissed is not. God, idiot. Okay. What?
There's not
You
a
speak
past.
Liam. I'm fine. You speak Liam. You can speak Liam. That's fine.
Yes, I also think Ohio State fans might want to hope that Ryan Day's serious about taking another job.
Do you understand we have shit lists coming up and you get to say all this stuff?
Well, I mean, we're on the topic of them. I'm not using it for that. I'm just saying.
Okay. Well, what's his name up there?
Big Ev.
Big Av, your shit list, please. This could take days.
Of course, it's Ryan Day. I mean, it just worse. Like even honestly, it even made me just a little upset. Even just you saying like we're having fun shitting on him. Like this, it keeps happening over and over. Like the same thing to me, and to me, it's the principle of these rosters. Like if you like to me, even if you flip the coaching staffs of these rosters, Ohio State wins the game by 1,000, and that's even with Sherrone Moore, who I'm not convinced that Sherrone Moore's some great coach. But I just know he's not a total incompetent, phony, fraud clown like Ryan Day is. I'm just so sick of Ryan Day. And I'm sick to my stomach that I defended him just because I'm a loyal guy. And I didn't like deep down, I knew I had all the doubts in the world. But I felt like I had to sit there and defend him and just stand up for him just because he's my coach, whether I like it or not. That's donezo. I will not defend him anymore. I will not support it. If we go in the next year with Ryan Day as that coach, I'll be saying before the year, like Ohio State has no shot this year. As long as he is the head coach of our football team, we have zero chance to win a national title. There is no way this team is running the table with that mental midget running this team. I don't know who we're going to hire next. I have no idea, but he will be on my shit list until he is relieved of his duties as the head coach of the Ohio State Buckeyes. That's simple. I have no good words to say about him going forward. None.
Blutman, your shit list.
College football fans who will not appreciate the greatness of the conference championship games that we have ahead of us. I'm not just talking about like Friday. Bless you, Lukey. Friday night's going to be exceptional when you've got Western Kentucky, Jacksonville State, UNLV, Boise State, which is a college football playoff play-in game, Tulane, Army. Those games are going to be unbelievably good. You've got Ohio, Miami, Ohio, Battle of the Bricks in Detroit for the MAC championship Saturday morning, and you ain't watching? Come on, get out of here. Louisiana, Marshall. It seems like Marshall just doesn't lose. That's going to be an incredible game. I can't wait for Conference Championship Week. The group of 5 games matter so much. Watch them, love them. Another thing to add here is I forgot.
Dynamite finish there, Blutman. Kayce, who's your shit
A lot
list?
going on in the brain.
Well, first I have an honorable mention, and I know he's been on the shit list multiple times, but Gus Johnson at the end of this game acting like the fight that they had was like they were, did I take yours?
You're fucking.
Okay, then I'll stop. Hold on,
Okay.
I'll stop because that was my honorable mention. I'll stop. Okay.
Glad I didn't say it.
I'll stop. Go ahead, Brandon, here. So my actual shit list isn't again, and I do agree, Brandon, with your overall sentiment that A&M being 8-4 in the first year of Mike Elko, even though 8-4 is like the big joke, that overall is good going into next year. The fact that we didn't take the points, and I saw everybody trying to argue like you don't know ball if you think that they should have not taken the points there. I know math. And I know, and I understand getting down to the red zone and getting close to the goal line was extremely hard for A&M, and they might not have gotten there. But the fact that we were down by 10 points, that is 2 scores, and we had an opportunity to kick a field goal to get it to 1 score, and we knew what Texas defensive line was doing. We could not run up the middle. We knew what Colin Klein was going to continue to call, and we don't take those points. And I get it. Yes, okay, you get a touchdown, it looks great. A&M couldn't do dick on offense all night. The first play, the first series of the game, they don't take the points. I thought that was stupid because I'm like, okay, you're playing your rival who's ranked number 3 in the country. Just take the points. But they didn't do it. And then to roll that back when you have to get into the end zone at least once and you have to kick a field goal in order to push the game to at least overtime. A&M had no business being in that game at that point. Quinn Ewers gifted A&M's defense. You take the fucking points. And I don't care what analytics says. I don't care what anybody else says. I know what being down by 10 means and what being down by 7 means. And if you go down by 3, then fine, it worked out. And I hate it so much. Respect to Mike Elko. I love Mike Elko. I'm excited he's our head coach. I do not understand why you don't take the points in that. And I know Jack Mack said I'm not a serious ball knower if I believe that. I'm sorry. You have to get it down to 7 when you've been like watching that game. You need to get it down to 1 score in order to have a chance because that defense was not going to let you get into that end zone.
Big Ev, you want to say it or do you want me to say it?
I think you should have went for it. That's my opinion on it.
You have to score that. You have to go for it.
Here's my thing on it. Yes, they couldn't. The fact that the argument that they could not move the ball to me is why you need to take your shot while you're on the 1 yard.
Never
line.
getting down there again.
That's okay. That's fine. But
I think it's more likely. It's more likely that you'll score that. And you can get a stop where you can get to like the 30 yard line.
We got the stop. But here's the thing, guys. We got the stop.
That was your best shot.
Kayce, you said yourself that your offense can't move the ball all game.
That's 100. Listen, I get what you're saying, and in the opposite, like if they make it, that's fine. A&M had the ball with 2 minutes left, down by 10. There was nothing they could do. You take that, you kick that 3-pointer, then you have something to play for. Marcel Reed ends up giving the ball away, but it's like, okay, you get the ball back with 2 minutes and you're down by 2 scores when you could just be down by 1. At least give your fucking give yourself a chance. You don't get Texas would not let them run the ball the entire game. We knew what Colin Klein was going to call.
The play call was awful.
Yeah, the play call that was the issue.
But that's my point. It's not like it was some surprise that Colin Klein was going to call something awful. He did it the entire game. So why not kick the field goal and at least give yourself a chance? Because we had that chance. When Marcel Reed had the ball back with less than 2 minutes there, and I understand the analytics. If you watched what the offensive play calling was all night, you have to take the 3 there because they were stopping Marcel Reed every single fucking time. And I don't understand how you don't want to put yourself in a position to win a game when you shouldn't even be in the position to win the game in the first place.
Well, going for it puts you in a better position to win the game.
But they couldn't do anything all night, Brandon. It wasn't like they were being able.
That's why you go for it.
Hey, we're
Because
gonna
he
get back
Okay,
down.
so here's
anything
an
all
honest
night, so when
question.
you
Okay,
get
and
the
I mean,
ball
fine.
back-
I'm not a football coach. I'm not a football coach, but I do know math. So you're trying to tell me that if we would have kicked the field goal and we go down by 7, when Marcel Reed has the ball with 2 minutes left at the 45-yard line, that game is not way more exciting?
Well,
No, what I'm telling you
it's
is
not about
the
being
touch.
exciting.
Oh, hold on.
They had a chance to win.
What I'm telling you is the touchdown is far and away the harder thing to get. You were 6 inches away from getting it. That is your best chance to get that touchdown. You have to take that opportunity.
I understand that, but I also understand that our offensive coordinator was going to call the same exact fucking play he called the entire time. And if we would have kicked a field goal, we would have at least been down by 1 score to give ourselves a chance of an explosive play or Quinn Ewers throwing another pick 6 or something, because the only way we could score is on our fucking defense.
All right.
Our offense couldn't score. Our offense.
I think I don't think you can say it as cut and dry as like they would have got the ball down 1 score as opposed to 2.
But they did.
Because I think just the way that Texas would have called plays and the field position would have been different had they kicked the field goal.
I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. Like I just.
All right. I have the shit list. So it's all in one. And thank you for leaving this off as your honorable mention, because you were right. I think that was the worst performance by announcers I've ever seen in my entire life. Gus Johnson and Joel Klatt getting sanctimonious and acting like they were at the JFK assassination during the post-game fight. This is actually a multi-faceted one here, because the entire post-game fight, which happens all the time, we saw it happen 5 times a day across the country, and this one we had 2 announcers acting like the King of England had just gotten shot in front of all of us, and it was the worst thing that ever happened. And we had cops bizarrely pepper spraying people. This is a football fight with football things going on. Yeah, they're going to get up in each other's face. Yeah, they're going to be saying things. You don't need fucking pepper spray, all right? This isn't some incredible huge thing. This isn't an actual crime happening. The pepper spray was embarrassing. Gus Johnson and Joel Klatt today, and I'll just say it. I was rooting for Ohio State because I don't like Dave Portnoy, but Michigan won, and I don't know that I've ever seen 2 announcers more heartbroken that a team lost than Joel Klatt and Gus Johnson were the Ohio State loss. They were in the tank for Ohio State today, and their performance during the fight, I don't know that I would put him on the air again. Joel Klatt is one of the best ball knowers in this country and a fantastic, fantastic, fantastic color guy. Get him the fuck away from Gus Johnson, because whatever that man had that made him special is fucking gone. Acting like he is watching September 11th unfold in front of him because some football players are getting up in arms was fucking embarrassing and shocking, and it was fucking pathetic.
Did you catch that? Like Joel Klatt was actually trying to like push back a little bit too. Like he didn't want to like be disrespectful. Oh, he didn't want to be like disrespectful. You could tell. Like so, Gus was like, "I just can't believe this is happening," and Joel was like, "Well, I mean, like," and he was trying to like get Gus to like see that it wasn't that big of a deal, and Gus did not pick up on it. So then it was almost just like Joel was like, "Fuck, I gotta let him go." Sometimes, you know what it kind of felt like, and I'm not saying that Gus is old and like. You know how sometimes they just let Lee Corso just say things and they're just like, whatever, man, it's Lee. Like, that's the way it felt. Like, Joel was like, I don't know, dude. Like let this man roll.
Gus has seen it. While I'm on announcers, the chat's right, because there's another announcer who I think is fucking great, and I love him. I think he's one of the best in the game. But Joe Tess, we get it. If Georgia wins tonight, they're in the playoff. You think that. You said that 978 fucking times. True.
Okay. What a great weekend to talk announcers and ball.
I mean, I the way that fight unfolded. Also, like I love Lee Corso. We got to get him off. We got to do something. We have to.
Yeah.
We have. It's not fun to watch.
Kayce, we've been saying that the entire.
No, I know, but like, I mean, hand up. I don't watch College Game Day very often. Obviously, it was in College Station today, so I caught the end of it. Like the guys from Dude Perfect were on it, and I was just like, "What are we doing? Like, this is not nice anymore. Like, let the man go retire and drink his iced tea on a porch, and Ryan Day will probably yell at him at some point."
He's going to be mad if they make him retire, though, and then it's going to turn into a whole nother Lou Holtz thing where a coach is calling him out or something.
I'm saying Ryan Day will probably yell at Lee Corso.
Probably.
Well, I would be remiss if I didn't end the show right there. As fun as it was to talk rivalry week, I apologize. I'm sorry that Big Ev had to go through what he went through. I'm sorry to Kayce. my rivalry game was yesterday, so I'm mentally past it. Anyway, the announcement for More Cowbell's return comes Monday with the co-host. Good place to stop.
Yes.
I mean, I guess.
All right, keep going then, motherfuckers. Keep going.
Gladly.
I'm sad.
The Gus Johnson thing. Can we just circle back to that? Because
I think he was actually going to keep talking.
Yeah, legend. I wanted to keep talking. I was just legend of the game. You got to just take him in the back and throw him into the water and make him sleep with the fishes. It's getting bad. He has seen the flag plant so many times in the same rivalry game and has never acted like that. I do not understand what happened there. It was embarrassing, Brandon. You were completely right about it, and you gotta put the old dog down.
Also,
like it was a crime.
Oh my God. No, Brandon, I'm serious. Like, I know you said you didn't catch it because obviously there was like so much shit going on. If you go back and you listen to when he first starts like crying about it, and it's so funny because like you can just see, like you can't see Joel clap, but you can just hear him be like, I don't really know. And like, he just keeps going. Like, he just keeps like, no, this is so disrespectful. And Joel just gives up.
So
all right.
I'm so sorry. I have two things. One, the pepper spray got the media, Michigan players, and the Ohio State players. That's crazy. All three got attacked. Two, Gus Johnson again. Carnell Tate, love him. I sympathize with this story and everything. After Carnell Tate catches a 39-yard touchdown pass or a 2-yard tunnel screen, we do not need to hear that his mom died in a drive-by shooting every down. It's crazy that you're inflicting that moment onto every play he makes. It doesn't make any sense to do that. I feel terrible for Carnell Tate that if he goes back and watches his highlights, that's what he hears every time. That's insane.
Yeah, you're right. I think it was in the first half. There's a 14-yard catch by Carnell Tate. Of course, his mother was killed in a drive-by shooting. Fuck. Okay, I got it.
It's
the Chicago kid
he makes a play.
Yeah.
Also, we've got a game in this BYU Houston game.
Yeah, Houston's closing the gap here. Money on the rise. All right, Blutman is silent for a couple seconds, so I'll take that opportunity to go ahead and end the show. Thank you for everybody watching. We'll be back on Tuesday night. And last thing I'll leave you with, and good night, Ohio State plus 500 to win the national championship. Thanks, everybody.
Your lips to God's ears.